Hi guys, sorry, I wasn't planning on being gone today. So hopefully, everyone was in class on Friday to start the Picasso portraits. So you hopefully got to this point. This is a video that Mrs. Bowers actually created. Um, so I'm going to kind of walk you through it so that you know what to do today. If you did not finish your Picasso portrait and for some reason you need the shapes to go back in and create shapes for your face, the bags of shapes are on the front table at the front of the classroom if you need anything. Other than that, you should be going in and finishing all your details like the eyebrows, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the ears, the mouth, any details on the shirt, hair, that type of thing. I want you to make sure that you're trying to make a really good artistic piece and that you weren't just being silly and sloppy. I did notice a couple of those on Friday before we stopped. I was going to catch them today before we traced with Sharpie, but I just want you to take a second look at your projects and make sure that you did it as well as you possibly could have. So I'm going to go ahead and start this video, and she's going to walk you through the next step on tracing with Sharpie today.
Okay, so once you have all of this done, then it is time to trace. So remember, you're going to have your Sharpies, you're going to have a regular point, you're going to have an ultra fine point, and you're going to have a chisel tip to work with. So you can get lots of different widths of line.
Okay, so just to pause the video for a second, I do not have any chisel tip markers available for you, but on the back counter in the classroom, there is a regular size Sharpie and there are thin point Sharpie. So whatever she uses a chisel tip for to make like the thicker shadows, go ahead and just use a normal Sharpie for that.
So we're going to kind of set those aside. Remember, when you're working with Sharpie, you need to get a piece of scrap paper and put it underneath so that the marker doesn't bleed onto the table.
We don't have any scrap paper for you today. If you get Sharpie on your table, just go ahead and scrub it with the magic eraser.
Okay. So if we go back and look at some of my finished examples, you can see that I'm using really thick lines. I'm using thinner lines, and it looks like I'm using just a few really super thin lines as well. Okay. So I always like to start with my thickest lines first, but you don't necessarily have to. You can do whatever feels right to you. Okay. And a lot of times I like to make sure there's a really thick line on each major shape. And if you kind of keep them all on the same side, like if I make this on the left side and the bottom, then I might kind of do the same thing here on the left side and the bottom. And maybe I want this one not quite as thick. So see how I just turned my chisel, okay? You want to kind of think about a couple things that you want to stand out. Usually the nose is the part on the face that stands out the most. So I'll kind of do that. Maybe I want to kind of thicken this one up. And I'll do along the bottom of the eyes. So I'm just kind of picking a few places where I want that really thick line. Then all you're going to do is trace the rest of it using your other kinds of lines. You've got your regular point and you've got your ultra fine point. So go ahead and finish tracing everything, and then make sure you take an eraser to it and erase any pencil marks that you can see.
All right, that is your stopping point for today. So once you finish tracing with Sharpie, you are going to stop and not do anything else. Okay, wait until I get back. If you finish with this, which you should, there's no reason why you shouldn't get this far today. Your very first task is to finish your value sketchbook if you have not already. We are going to be filling out parent-teacher conference forms, and if your value sketchbook's not done, it's going to be nearly impossible to fill out that form. Okay, so your value sketchbook is first. If you finish your value sketchbook today, or if you're already done with it, turn it into the sketchbook bin. Then second, you can work on your shape sketchbook. And I hopefully will see you all tomorrow.